The sun has got his hat on. Hip, 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 hooray. Our sun is... Hello, Matt. How are you doing?
I'm fine. Did you just realise I was here?
Yes.
You just started singing, forgetting that I was here.
Just come in the door, yeah.
I know.
So, I thought I saw something in my peripheral vision, just singing away to myself here in the dark, you know.
Yeah.
Did you know, speaking of that song, you know, The Sun Has Got His Hat On, did you know that that's actually quite a racist song?
Is it?
Yeah, but have you ever heard the lyrics past the initial chorus?
Oh, actually, I remember saying about this. I remember hearing about this, actually.
I'm not gonna repeat nothing. People can search for themselves. I'm just saying, this shocked the hell out of me. Because I'd never heard it past that chorus.
Because isn't it meant to... You think it's one of, like, those innocent songs.
Yeah, it's such a cheery song, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it just bombshells you. And, oh my God, it's just, you can't hear that song ever again. And think, you can if you stop it after 10 seconds, and that's it about it. That's all you can do.
Yeah, just play the 10 seconds in at least.
There was one DJ who got in trouble for playing that on air. He actually got sacked. Because he thought it was a nice song, but he obviously didn't realise as well. He played the whole entire song, and he got the sack for it.
Oh, yeah, that's where I heard about it from.
Yeah. Yeah,
oh,
and I kind of feel for the guy, because it is a nice jingle, but damn, you don't realise, do you? Well, there you go. That's the past. You know, that's what they played back in the past when children would skip to school. You know,
when racism was cool.
When racism was cool. You know, back in those days. I was about to say good old days. There, shit. That was that.
We're learning
that's
more
something to
about
learn
you
from.
every day, Chris.
Oh man, you don't know nothing about me. You don't know nothing. You know. Goddamn pigs and fuzz. Anyway, how you been, man? How you been?
I've been good. Yeah, I've been my usual self.
Nice. I like your usual self.
Yeah, been getting nostalgic.
Oh, yes. Yeah. About anything in particular?
Well, I saw something in particular, and it was actually to do with you, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, I noticed on your WhatsApp. Yeah. Yes. Your picture is the Truckle Brothers.
Yes.
How amazing is that?
I bloody love the shit out of the Chuckle Brothers. They were iconic figures, very important to my childhood as I grew up, you know. Had a direct effect on my life, you know.
Yeah, I mean, for me, they are epitome of comic genius.
Oh, man, yeah. You can't... If you, they ain't no Bodger and Badger, but we'll... repeat that. But they oh my God, they have a golden place in my heart, man. And you see them now, and they still look as old as they used to. You know, maybe a little bit older, but they're still great. Barry and Paul.
I love the fact they've started appearing in like rap videos and stuff like that, haven't they? Or stuff like that. It's so amazing.
They cross media, and you think to yourself that artist, he probably grew up with them in the same way I did as well. Like he just wanted to get them on. Man, okay, here's a good idea then. What's a good nostalgic television show from your past? Like, say you came home, brushed the chalk off the chalkboard because you got held back like Bart Simpson. You get home and you turn the TV on. What brightened up your night when you were a kid?
Well, it's going to be a weird one, actually.
The weirder the better.
It's kind of... I only remember it because this only came on towards kind of the end of my childhood a bit. It's the Tweenies, actually. That's the thing I used to, when I came home, that'd be one of the first things that was on when we got back home. I always seem to remember that one for some reason.
I remember it came on when I was in middle school, and by that point I was too old for it anyway. But when you're off, or you come home and your mind's numb, or even in the morning, you know, for some reason you can't just turn it off. You watch it and you're like, well, yeah, I kind of... I'm just going to watch this for a minute, and it was actually quite a good little educational program. You know, it was like the next initial generation's kind of TOS TV in a way. You know, except for that one episode where I think one of the characters, Max, dressed up as Jimmy Savile.
Oh yeah, I remember reading about that because they showed that again recently, didn't they? And
they got in trouble for that as well. They re-showed it once after the whole Jimmy Savile incident initially, and so many parents complained. Obviously, it's a children's show as well, you know?
Yeah.
And you think to yourself, like, I'm kind of on both wagons. I'm like, well, you know, it's still the Tweenies and that in good taste. But you think to yourself, how did you not see this coming? How did you... It's Jimmy Savile imitated on a children's program, you know?
Yeah. Because we should explain, Jimmy Savile's not as popular as he once was.
No.
For some reason.
No. Apparently he didn't fix something for a kid, and that kid's come back with a vengeance, and we all hate him for it.
Yeah.
Or maybe he fixed a bit too much. Let's not beat about the bush for anyone that might be out of the clue. He didn't, I think we'll start, like, at the end of the 1990s, he did a documentary of Louis Theroux about his strange activities and his, visiting of children's hospitals and accusations of paedophilia that were coming out around then. Even as a TV presenter, though, he was always considered a dangerous man to cross.
Yeah.
He owned a nightclub. There were stories about him, beating up certain individuals in the basement of this nightclub. He had a bit of a reputation, but he also got into, like, children's charities, so no one wanted to cross him. It would be like career suicide. Then once he went, everyone who he had, damaged in the past came out of the woodwork and started saying, he molested me as a kid. He came to my hospital. And you can't deny that in such a high volume and with no reason not to, they're not going for money. They weren't going for money. They just wanted to detriment a really bad man. But it was too late. Yeah. By that point, he was dead, and we couldn't say anything. But there was a massive thing. I think it was called Savilegate, wasn't it? Yeah.
What's actually scary, like watching those kind of documentaries and stuff like that, and watching like old videos of him in the past? He didn't deny it.
He didn't. No.
He never actually denied it. Actually, I think someone said his autobiography was basically him just boasting that he did all this and was getting away with it almost.
I mean, he'd always dodge the question, deflect it, or speak in rhetoric or anything like that. But I remember one thing, though, that a month after he died, it hadn't come out yet, and his family was on, I think, Good Morning with Philip Schofield and all that. And they were advertising a book that they'd written about their granddad. It was all lovey-dovey and that stuff. About how lovely he was and how he's their granddad. And they were being all spiritual about it and how he's still with them. And then, like, obviously this book didn't sell very well because about a week later all these accusations came out.
Yeah.
And I remember looking up some of, like, what the family said, and they were still defending him. They were like, this is outrageous. He never did. But then I thought to myself, well, you've got a book to sell as well. I mean, I feel kind of sorry for them because they didn't want this. They couldn't control what he was like. I don't know what went on in the family, but you can't control individuals' behaviours,
Yeah.
But then again, there was, the Ripper of... What's it called, Ripper? That
Yorkshire Ripper.
Yorkshire Ripper, that's the guy.
That's the one.
Apparently his brother was a killer, wasn't he? Wasn't his brother a killer?
Oh, no, his... I don't know if his brother grassed him up or something, but his brother used to idolise him or something like that.
Because the Yorkshire Ripper didn't... Oh, wait, that was the guy with the beard, wasn't it? Sorry, I'm thinking of a program I saw on an American person. But I'll tell you what that anyway. It wasn't Ed Gein, but it was someone very similar who had killed these people, stalked them, eaten some of their stuff, because it wasn't the killing that got him off, it was the act afterwards, anything after. And apparently his brother was the same as well, but they didn't really speak much. And it was like, it makes you wonder, like, does it run in the family in some sort of gene pool? Like, is there a certain gene that does click and that's hereditary or something like that? But obviously you can't think like that because everyone is an individual. So that family, I feel so sorry for him. I don't think they go out and molest kids, he was a very weird... and then you got, like, it opened up the floodgates, right? Like, you have, what's his name, Starr?
Oh, Freddie Starr, yeah.
Freddie Starr. Bloody Rolf Harris.
Ooh.
Real hard hitter. I mean, he was going to be one of my childhood memories, but...
Yeah, Animal Hospital. We can't mention that now, can we?
You can't. And even though it probably wasn't as severe as, detriment that Savile caused, it was still, bloody hell, you lied to us, Ralph.
Yeah.
I felt like they'd be writing down how many years he's going to get. They write down a 1 and just turn around and go, can you guess what it is yet, Ralph? Can you guess what it is yet? Oh, another 0. Ooh.
Yeah, you can just imagine him in prison playing his wobble board and stuff like that.
Echoed through the chambers.
Oh, God.
Oh, dear me. Oh. But, so that was the Savile scandal, and we came to that from Tweenies, so that was a nice treat.
Yeah, brilliant.
Fond memories all around, just in time for Christmas.
Welcome to the Dorks Deduction Podcast, where we talk about stuff.
I'm going to go a slightly strange thing to say, but you know when my mum died, actually.
Oh,
do you know what the first thing I actually went home and watched was the Tweenies?
Oh.
It's the weirdest thing to watch. I mean, you think it was like, well, obviously I cried a bit when I first heard. The first thing I did with me and my sister, we just watched the Tweenies. And I was 10 at this stage. I was perhaps slightly old for the Tweenies. We just sat there and watched the Tweenies. And it's slightly surreal almost kind of thing. That's why I always remember the Tweenies.
It's got like a sort of, what do you call it, a symbolic bond with you in a way.
Yeah.
Because that's what I find that when you have certain life events.
Yeah.
By the way, it wasn't the Savile one, was it?
No, it wasn't that one.
That's all right then. Yeah. Yeah, because that would stain your memory a bit.
Yeah.
But we always have like some sort of symbolic, like if something happens to us, we always remember what we did near then. Like I remember when my gran died, for some reason I watched Silent Hill. I don't know why, but now I always think of that when I watch it,
Yeah.
Or when I broke up with my ex, for my first ex, I watched the Terminator 2, the Arnold Schwarzenegger one. And I always associate with that, It's I still enjoy it, but I always remember the point where, it was that part where he's got an iron stuck through his chest.
Yeah.
Spoilers, but at this point, fuck you, you should have watched it by now. I always thought, oh, that's me, man, pulling the iron out of my chest. Oh, god damn, and it actually got me through it, because I compared myself to Arnie. I was like, yeah, that was awesome. Not the breakup, but yeah, like it always have a symbolic meaning to you, won't it? It's quite nice.
Yeah,
it's nostalgic and
it's just the fact that you get it's that kind of like that life event. And then you just go watch these Muppets, basically, kind of acting all kind of really kind of weird and stuff like that. It's just so like strange. Because a lot of kids' TV is quite strange.
Yeah.
It's kind of like over the top.
Well, I think it stopped being strange when everyone became really PC.
Yeah.
So everything had to be soft colours, funny names that don't cause offence.
Yeah.
Like, you could go back and, like, maybe, the Tweenies, for example, go back and say, one of them's called Bella, and then someone in some religious community might say, well, that's against my Lord, you can't say that.
Yeah.
But, it would be silly things, like no one wants to cause any offence, it's a children's programme, and then you've got these things where you don't want the kid to grow up stupid, which is actually quite a good aim in my book. I remember there was this programme that came on, which upset a lot of like Christians and Muslims. I can't remember what it's called, but it was basically these little alien creatures that are kind of teach Zen Buddhism things. I can't remember what it's called, but they kind of float around like aliens. I can't remember, but it was a couple of years ago. And I remember seeing it. It was the weirdest thing I'd ever seen, but it had Zen teachings in it.
Really?
It had like teaching about oneness and. But you can read past the lines because you're an adult. You can see what they're doing and the way they position. They're like taking yoga stances, and that's fine. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cultural. But I wasn't surprised that so many religious folk had a backlash against it.
Yeah,
because it was kind of like it's not reinforcing a different religion on someone that's so young, but to them it's a direct attack on their thing, and I think it's stupid. But at the same time, I don't believe in any religion should be forced upon any kids at that age,
I missed that one. I never saw that one.
No. All it really did was it had a bigger focus on yoga, and that's fine. Yoga can be separated from any religion, but two of the major religions use it, but it wasn't a big deal. But it did have some religious overtones on it,
Yeah. It's surprising what you find out there that's kind of got like religious undertones sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, Postman Pat, you didn't know he was a Orthodox, did you?
How did you know those posts wasn't bombs or something like that?
Yeah, like laced with
militant.
One was due for Bjork, and it was laced with like LCD or something like that.
Yeah,
LSD. But like Postman Pat, I miss the stop animation days.
Ooh,
the stop Postman Pat, your Fireman Sam's, your Thomas, your Pingu.
God, yeah.
Oh, back when kids were men. All serious, Pingu was probably my childhood favourite, my young childhood favourite.
How could I forget that?
Oh man, Pingu.
Oh, I love Pingu.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Yeah, even though that could have, because the penguin, all he used to go with whoa, whoa, whoa kind of noise and stuff like that.
It was the first ever Vuvuzela.
Yeah.
You know? My God. I just used to love. I remember when I was a kid, we'd get like these VHS tapes,
yeah,
and it would have like a mix of good new stuff, good old stuff. It was like a children's terry tape. Basically. When you're a real, yeah, I think my mum got it when I was a toddler, and it had like some known stuff, some bootleg stuff, and then some stuff you never even knew about. Like there was an old show called The Shoe People. I don't know if that rings a bell. Real catchy theme song, but. It was one of these stock cartoons that would have come out a dime a dozen back in the day. All that would move was their eyes and maybe a couple of frames of animation or cells. Yeah. And it had a voiceover, and it was so cheaply made, and yet it was what kids wanted, you know? That kind of stuff. Henry's cat, James's cat, and anyone's cat, really, I mean. Yeah.
God. Yeah, I miss Pingy, though. I used to love that when I was a kid.
Yeah, they still have it, you know. But the inner fan in me could tell they changed the voice.
Oh yeah, it's like they changed Noddy. They changed Noddy from like the old kind of how cartoons used to be, and it's now like really digital and stuff like that. Yeah, it looks horrible.
I know. It's good though because it's keeping kids interested. Kids want the computer age and all that stuff. But did you ever hear of a program called Watch with Mother?
Oh yeah,
the original Andy Pandy, the original Bill and Ben.
Yeah, we had a recording of it somewhere, and it's because I always remember how it started off. There'd be a bit where it was
with a flower, right?
Yeah, there was a flower. I remember the Bill and Ben bit, and then there was some woman who showed you how to make paper lanterns and stuff.
Goodbye, Bill. Yeah, it was real old classic.
Yeah.
Like black and white style, man. Because we had an official BBC VHS tape of it. I'm talking like when I was really young now.
Yeah.
But it had like Bullwick Green, Bill and Ben, Watch My Mother. Muffin the Mule.
Yeah.
Was another great one. I remember because there was a penguin called Peregrine. I remember this stuff, man. It's so lovely. And you think there's such wholesome little programs back there. Like, it's such a simple time. It would even just be a woman playing on a piano with a couple of puppets dancing next to her, you know. And it was so cute, man. It was lovely. But
I miss watching that. We used to watch. I mean, because we only had the one video, and so you just watch the same episode of it, time and time again. And I always remember there used to be these like animated rats or something like that, and they'd make mud pies or something like that, and stuff like that. It's kind of really kind of.
You know when you say that. Like, when someone talks about an old program, but they only describe it, don't say what it was, and I'm like, God damn, that rings such a bell! It floods back, you know, like, Jesus.
Oh, I know. Watch with Mother was ace. I used to love that.
Well, when we get a bit older, obviously the perfect lineup, everyone talks about it. Everyone in Britain, anyway, talks about it. The perfect lineup was Monday, and then it became Monday and Friday, was Simpsons at 6, and then maybe after that was Robot Wars, a bit of Buffy. Fresh Prince, of course. That was always fun. But going back, you don't see any of the Cartoon Networks and all that stuff, you know. You'd have like SWAT Cats and Cow and Chicken, you know, the golden age of animation back then.
I see. I never used to watch those kind of ones.
Oh, no?
Yeah, I haven't watched like the cartoon kind of networks all that often. I just remember the stuff that was on like the main 5 channels.
Oh, right, yeah. Oh, British, yeah. Well,
because that's all I had for ages, to be honest. Because
the thing you notice about watching, because I had it briefly, I had cable briefly before it got too expensive or whatever, Murdoch. And the thing you notice about American TV compared to like British TV is how different their entertainment is. Obviously, I think Americans, they do have like more educational programs within their country, but what you saw on Cartoon Network, and this is pre-Dragon Ball Z as well, you know, it wasn't even anime, there was so much action compared to the British. Like, take Tots TV, which is just a couple of Rosie and Jim as well. It was just basic puppets celebrating British culture, like in a tugboat.
Yeah.
Or even, do you remember Come Outside?
No, but I do remember Rosie and Jim, only because it slightly freaked me out a little bit.
I know. Because it's Uncanny Valley. Even back then, it was Uncanny Valley. Come outside, it had this dog called Pippin as well. I don't know, and they flew around in a big yellow...
yeah, I do remember it. Because the woman who used to be in it, she used to be in Open All Hours.
Yeah, exactly, it's her.
That's how I remember her now.
Oh, what was her name? Was it Linda Barron?
Yeah, that's her, yeah.
Yeah, they had this plane that they would go around in, and I thought this is the most kick-ass granny that you could ever ask for. And it was lovely, man. It was probably one of the best... You know when these programs called How Is This Made? Yeah. It was like that, but for kids. And fun stuff, like instead of a tin of beans, you get like, how's rock candy made? And it would take you to like Cornwall. But obviously they travel there. It was lovely, man. Stuff like that. It incorporated real people with fun slapstick. Chuckle Vision, obviously we talked about that. It's a lovely little thing.
That was a bit. They used to like try and hold the ladder and they kind of break windows and stuff like that.
Exactly.
It still makes me laugh.
It still makes me. I love the simplicity of it, you know. Yeah. And even it was for young kids. So as you got a bit older, you'd be like, well, that's not very funny, but you still loved them, you know. Yeah. You still liked their antics. It's like Harry Hill. Like he wouldn't make you laugh every joke, but you still. It's Harry Hill, you know, you still like him. The last real duo of slapstick that we ever had is Dick and Dom, or Ant and Dec, you know? Yeah. You don't get that anymore. You just, there's no one that's been able to, you know, take that role. Unless Chuckle Brothers are still going, because I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest.
I think they are, actually.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah. I vaguely remember seeing some new episodes recently or something like that.
Imagine if in America they looked at the longest running TV programs and The Simpsons was number one, and they were like, "Well, what the fuck is Chuckle Vision?" That's number two, and then Dallas or something.
Yeah, it'd be great if it's up there.
Oh man.
Yeah, because I don't know. I wonder whether the Americans would like that kind of thing.
I wonder. Like, it would probably be. The thing about Americans is that when it comes to their kids, they're very unkeen about other cultures. They've got to learn about America, which is probably why it's, you know, Magic School Bus did so well. Anything that teaches about British culture, and even Come Outside wasn't about British culture. It was just teaching how stuff's made, right? Yeah. But they always that's why they redub these programs. Like I think Noddy was given an American voice when he came back, or you know, stuff like that, and stuff that would, you know, really like, oh my God, Thomas the Tank Engine. Mostly Americans now. There's no Ringo.
No Ringo? What?
No Ringo Starr. No.
That's ridiculous.
Freaky Beatle. He's not in it anymore. It was all been redone with someone else's voice, and I think they did a film with with Alec Baldwin.
My God.
Yeah.
Really?
American voices all around. Yeah. Oh my goodness. I don't know. I think the Americans, they do love certain aspects of British culture, like train systems, because it also works for them. Iron horses, you know. They love the idea of Britishness. Yeah. So you get a lot of medieval castles, you know, people that love queens and kings and stuff like that. But anything that's just the working man in society, that's modern or right now, or it's very British, they don't care about, or they'll change it around, you know. Yeah.
There's one problem in America. They do think Britain's like stately homes and London, and that's about it.
Yeah, exactly. Like everything else is trees and countryside. Yeah, and to an extent, I wish they were right. I wish, because apparently we used to have a forest that ran all the way from Scotland to Southend, didn't we?
Really?
Back in medieval times, yeah. They said you could be a squirrel, and you could jump on a tree near Scotland and not hit the ground until you were at Cornwall or something like that.
Christ.
Yeah, that's how much forest we used to have. And obviously, you know, things go on and, you know, more land gets taken up. But that's quite a fascinating thought, you know, back in medieval times, you know.
So we could have all lived in trees?
Oh, I would have loved that.
We could have all had, like, tree houses.
We could have, man. We could have. We still could.
We've gone wrong, haven't we?
Come with me to the lumber yard sometime after work. And... We'll scheme, right? I'll get my blue papers out, and we'll scheme something together. Just a nostalgia thought, where you have to be I was going to say under 16 that enter, but that just sounds wrong.
We're trying to get away from this kind of thing.
Oh, speaking of underage, where's Tarmin?
Where is she? I think you know about this.
Well, yeah. Well, last time I saw her, she had an ice cream truck and she was going around the town giving treats out to kids and offering free rides. No one took her up on it, but sad she's not here right now. Though.
Disgraceful. I've always been worried about her, though. You should hear some of the things she says on this podcast. She edits most of it out.
She's really a dirty person. Isn't she?
Do you know what she wrote on Facebook last night?
What did she say?
Exterminate the children.
Oh,
that's just
surprised.
her kind of, that's what she's like.
I'm not even shocked.
Yeah.
I mean, oh dear.
I'm disgusted by her sometimes.
Oh my God, it's but we're sad she's not here though. It's a
shame
she's not here. Yeah.
She's got to edit that bit out. So
what the one nice thing?
Yeah. I should have coughed. I should have coughed, and then she would have had to edit it out. Anyway, damn.
Oh. No, but I think she said something to me once about a nostalgic program that she used to watch. Oh, what was it? Oh, I can't remember for the life of me. Oh, bollocks! We'll have to have a number 3 with all of us together or something.
Yeah.
But, we kind of covered like a lot of children TV, like Bodger and Badger.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah, I do remember it now. Like you said it earlier, and all I can remember that is the mashed potato.
Oh, that's all you need to remember, man.
Yeah. I can't actually remember anything that happened in that programme, but I can remember one. Was it the Badger that just used to eat all the...
Badger. There was Mousy. There was the guy... I'm sorry, the guy who did it looked like he'd been drinking too much.
Yeah.
You could see it in his face, But it was him. He was great. But was his name Boris or Roger? Roger. There you go. It would always remind me as like the naughty version of Sooty and Sweet.
Yeah.
Like I love the ginger guy on Sooty and Sweet. He was the original son, wasn't he, of the old Sooty and Sweet host?
Was he? I didn't realise that.
Yeah, he was. Shame he died, but it's quite a nice little thing he carried on his father's legacy of acting with Sooty and Sweet.
Yeah. And
let me tell you, some of those black and white Sooty and Sweet shorts, man, they are hilarious. Like, super funny. Like Sooty, he's a dick. I'm not going to get too much into it because I'm just going to fanboy over children's programs, which is a great thing to do.
Do you think City's a dick, or City was on a dick?
On a dick?
Puppet. Yeah, you could get a puppet on there, couldn't you? that would be really creepy. If that
explains some of his weird looks. Like he'll turn around the screen and just look. Well, sweep, definitely. No one screams like that at normal conversation. That guy was in constant ecstasy. But man, this is what I mean. Like, we never get shows like this anymore. We have like everything is digitized. There's no puppets or anything. Obviously, it's probably actually I don't know if it would be more expensive. Would it?
I don't know actually.
I know they brought back Thunderbirds recently. Yeah. What they did was Captain Scarlet and made it all like CGI, which is I don't know how to feel about that, to be honest.
Yeah, they're bringing back loads of things. Like they're bringing back Teletubbies and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, well, it's like, what can they not... they're bringing back Teletubbies.
Yeah.
How the fuck are they... How?
I don't know. Like,
costumes, or...
I'm not sure yet, but I know the original creative, like the original series, isn't happy. Because they're just bringing back loads of... There's like no original kind of programs coming up just recently.
Funny fact about the, the little hill that they used to... Well, the original owner got so sick of people coming to visit his land that he's blown it up.
Oh, Jesus.
And now it's just a massive ditch in this park area. I'm not even joking. He got so fed up with people coming to visit it. Because let's face it, the generation that watched that Teletubbies stuff has grown up, I hope. And they're not that fascinated, No new kids are going to watch it unless they're like, I don't know, their stupid parents are forcing them. Who goes to their kids like I used to watch Teletubbies. I'm going to make my kids watch this as well, just so they get an idea of how fucked up I am. I can't understand these programs. If there's one thing that the newer generation did right compared to the older generation, it's the TOTS programs, because at least stuff like Balamori is a lot more wholesome than Teletubby Custard or something like that, you know? I don't like it when producers think, let's make something mindless that doesn't engage much thought. Or even if it's just shapes and circles, that's fine. But, you know, even Sesame Street can do that right. Yeah. You don't...
I do have one quick thing to say about Sesame Street. I think it's Sesame Street. I think that's the one, if you look for it on YouTube, they did a crossover between Sesame Street and Goodfellas or Casino, the Martin Scorsese films.
The dub with Bert and Ernie.
It's so funny.
You motherfucker, you! And he just grabs his nose and it works so well.
And there's the one where he's shutting the yellow bird one. He's shutting his head in the door and stuff like that. It's amazing. And it's got it's got all like the classic like dialogue, right? You think I'm funny?
It just works because they're such docile puppets, but because you can make them say anything you want. It's like anim, you can make them say anything you want. That's why these videos exist in such quantities. But it's so brilliant, it's so funny. Oh my god, especially Pesci voices. Pesci's voice works on almost anything. You can make anything funny. He's like the Guile theme. You can put it on anything and it'll just work, you know?
Do you know, he actually did, he did a song called Wise Guys or something like that. Yeah. And it's like music to some Blondie song or something like that as well, I think.
I thought, wasn't it a rap or something?
Yeah, but I'm almost certain the music's some Blondie song or something like that.
Because I remember it, but I don't remember the Blondie element.
I think it's, I'm not sure if a Blondie song called The Rapture or something like that. Something like that. It sounds really similar.
I do like a bit of Blondie, actually.
Yeah. I was almost certain it's like the same music. I might be completely wrong.
I think I know which one you mean. But then again, like I would need to look it up. I do need to look it up. Yeah. But anything Joe Pesci is going to be fun to look up anyway.
And that comes to nostalgia. Home Alone.
Oh, yeah. The highest grossing Christmas film, by the way.
Yeah. Honestly, I've watched that film so many times. Because we used to have a movie night on Friday.
Yeah.
And because this is after when I moved in with my uncle and aunt. And my cousins had never seen that film before.
Oh, that
so obviously I brought it with me, and honestly, we watched it. And we'd always debate what to watch on Friday, and we'd always end up just choosing Home Alone after 5 minutes.
It's quintessential, you know. It's like apparently, it is the highest grossing Christmas film of all time. I think it's the 116th highest grossing film of all time, but I still think that Die Hard's a better Christmas film. But for just hijinks and shenanigans, like Home Alone is just... And Pesci as well, when he's getting his head lit on fire, is just priceless anyway.
It's amazing.
That's worth the admission ticket. But I always liked the second one better.
Did you?
Was it Lost in New York or Alone in New York?
Yeah, that's the one, yeah.
I think the reason being was because back when I was a kid, I had an early version of the NES. And one of the first games I ever had was the Home Alone 2 video game.
Yeah.
For this, and it was shit. It was really horrible. But I kept playing it because I had nothing else. And I remember like just wanting to see the film because I had this game, and I just enjoyed it, man. I love the atmosphere of New York at Christmas.
Yeah.
Something really wonderful about the whole turtle doves thing as well.
Yeah.
I just like it, man. And there's nothing cooler than... Oh, Tim Curry's in it. So's Rob Schneider, but he's all right in it.
Yeah.
There's something really cool about being a kid. Not just to have the house to yourself, but to be able to go around New York by yourself and go into the toy store with all this money and shit. And that'd be so cool, man. Like, it really captured the imagination of it. And Macaulay Culkin, I've never seen a child actor able to hold a film together by themselves, just because it's predominantly him. He is the main actor, right?
Yeah.
He's in most of the scenes. And you buy it. You buy that he's a kid running around. He's cool, man. He was a good actor.
Yeah.
Even if he wasn't technically great, you know, he was able to hold the film together.
I always remember it like really fondly, particularly the first one, like in particular for me, because that's the one I've seen more than kind of like the second one. I've only seen like the second one 2 or 3 times actually.
Oh, dude.
Whereas I've watched the first one like a million times now. I'm surprised. Well, I haven't watched it for like years. I haven't watched it for quite a while actually now. It's one of those things, you watch it so much when you're younger, you don't watch it too much when you're older. But I've got so many fond memories of that film. But
man, it's one of those films where if it was up there with the adult films that you snuck a glance at, because it wasn't an adult film.
Yeah.
But it was still quite violent enough to be considered, wow, like this is crazy. Like I remember when I was around my friends, we would accidentally switch onto a film called It or Terminator or and watch it. But Home Alone was up there, man. Like, you'd be around your friend's house and it would be on telly at Christmas, and you just watch it with them, man.
For me,
it'd be so nice.
Yeah, for me, one of the films that, because my sister used to watch it sometimes with a then boyfriend, was Austin Powers.
Oh man,
that made me laugh so much.
I think that was one of the first films that had like adult humour.
Yeah, that
I kind of got away with watching in front of my mum.
Yeah.
Because it was just funny enough that she's like, you know what, just watch it.
Yeah. Do you know what's strange about that though? I watched the films 2 or 3 years ago back again. I didn't actually find them that funny now.
You don't find it that funny now?
I certainly don't. I don't find it anywhere near as funny as I used to.
No, not near as funny, because it was a lot of immature humour. Let's be fair.
I think it was the fact that you knew it was wrong. You knew that kind of. I wouldn't get away with saying this for sure.
Yeah. And I used to love his take on the 60s as well.
Yeah.
You know? But I do think Mike Myers, the actor, hasn't exactly been in the best spotlight for a while.
Yeah.
Apparently he's a bit hard to work with. And then he made The Cat in the Hat, which is just because he just Mike Myers it up, basically.
Yeah.
I think he's great as Shrek. He's got a great voice. And I still quite like the guy, but you don't see him anymore, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, we saw that one MTV Wayne's World skit, which I love Wayne's World as well. And he was in Inglourious Bastards for a brief moment.
Was he? Wow.
Yeah. He was the guy who was talking to Brad Pitt and sent him on the mission. Ah. But that, you don't see that guy anymore. And it's a shame, because he can be quite funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I kind of find some of it funny still, but like there's some bits I used to laugh my head off when I was younger, but I kind of I didn't laugh at it. It's kind of like one of those strange things, like you growing up, how you grow out of something. I think
that's true. Well, then again, like these films that they made were all when Saturday Night Live was the massive skit creator.
Yeah,
you know? I mean, Wayne's World was a skit. It started off as a skit, didn't it?
Did it?
I think it did. I know Austin Powers. It was all like Mike Myers got his characters out, and then they thought about films that could be made.
Yeah.
But there was what's his name? The guy who played Garth, Dana Carvey in Austin Powers. His second in command.
Oh yeah, I love him.
Yeah. He was great in Austin Powers, but this is like a lot of. I mean, Saturday Night Live created a lot of great characters. It also created a lot of shit ones that would have flung at the wall to see what happens.
Yeah.
I remember Dana Carvey made a really crap character called the Master of the Skies, which was just him basically acting as different. Like he does a great Al Pacino impression, and there's this one character called the Turtle Man, which he's really good at. But it was just a bunch of skits applied together with a really crap story, and it was just painful to watch, really, man.
Yeah. So some great comedians do some quite shoddy stuff.
Oh yeah. But it's like flinging stuff at the wall and see what happens. You know?
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not even about how well it does; it's about how much money they can make, which you see all too much these days. You know what I mean? Like it still pissed me off that epic movie made more than Scott Pilgrim or stuff like that.
Yeah, I watched some of those. Like there was the odd one that was funny.
Yeah.
Of those
Scary Movie 1, 2, and 3 were fine. I couldn't watch after the Wayans left, and after that it was painful, because it was just it's like one of those annal books you get at bookstores.
Yeah.
You know, oh, this year's one, oh, that year's one. You know, brilliant. You're still going, I see. But they always make money, so they're always going to keep doing it. So.
Yeah, because I think what annoys me slightly of some of those films is it does just feel like it's adults kind of making teenage films.
Yeah,
almost. You know,
but they're not giving them enough credit, because they know teenagers just want like what we like about Austin Powers. But Austin Powers at least had some depth to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So because like some of it's just like I remember watching there's some cop buddy film.
Yeah.
And it was really bad. It was meant to be like a take on some of the other like cop buddy films.
Right.
But it was so awful. I mean, the only one like funny scene was when this naked fat guy fell over and his crotch landed right on this cop's face or something like that. And apart from that, that was the only funny scene. The rest of it was just like, it was like a really bad kind of take on the cop kind of thing.
Like not even making the good jokes, you know.
Yeah.
But I kind of like it when you see shit films like that, because you think to yourself, well, I'm inspired to make my own and better, you know.
Yeah.
But if you want a really bad cop film, and that's actually tried to do well as well, have you ever heard of R.I.P.D.?
No. What's that one?
Jeff Bridges and what's his name? I can't remember. The Deadpool guy, Ryan Reynolds. That's it. They did a film which is basically the best way to describe it is Men in Black, poorly done, meets Constantine or something like that.
Yeah,
and it's so like it feels like it's trying to do something original with unoriginal assets. You know, like it's just. There's so many times when someone does something stupid or there's something that doesn't make sense just to play for laughs. When you've already established in this, I'm not going to get into it, but when a film tries to express this lore to you, give you this lore that's really serious, and then they do like for instance, all right, I won't. Basically, they're both dead. That's no spoiler. That you get that within the first 5 minutes.
Yeah,
and the only way they can operate as detectives for the afterlife in this place is they still get seen by people, but they're seen as different types of people.
Yeah.
Like, he gets seen as a man with brown hair as opposed to what he really is. Just a normal guy to avoid to avoid attracting attention, right?
Yeah.
That's their point, because they're dead and they don't want people to know. But they give Jeff Bridges this persona of a really attractive blonde female with big boobs, which is obviously meant to attract the crowds, but it's in the lore of the story, it doesn't work. Like, you can't, like, if you're attracting a low profile, you don't have a big chested blonde woman with big boobs, and it's just aggravating. Like, there you go. And Ryan Reynolds, the big off joke is, he looks like a Chinese man, like a little Chinese man. Yeah. And obviously they get away with their racist jokes as well and stuff like that, but it doesn't make sense. Like, oh my God. And there's so much of that throughout the film. Yeah. And it's at least Men in Black. That's how you do an off-the-cuff comedy, buddy cop kind of comedy. That's kind of sci-fi elements, you know. Shit. If you want a normal buddy cop comedy, go for Eddie Murphy or Thunderbolt and Lightfoot. You know, something that works. Look at something that works, dudes.
Well, cause,
stop looking at Cash and Tango, you know.
Yeah, because isn't Bad Boys a cop film?
Kind of, yeah, that works as well.
Yeah,
that works
as well. It's a buddy film or something like that.
Yeah,
I remember seeing that. I quite enjoyed that one.
Yeah, that was really good. I even liked 2 as well, actually.
Yeah, because I know there's an undercover one where they have to like dress up as women. That's another cop film.
For some reason, I'm thinking of Some Like It Hot.
Oh, is it?
That's a black and white one, though.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like a modern take on that or something like that.
Although they were just normal men running from the mafia.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think I know it. You're thinking of White Chicks.
Yeah, that's the one, I think. Yeah. Definitely. I did actually kind of got into that film, actually.
Just realised White Chicks is the modern example of Some Like It Hot. Oh my God, that is so bad.
I know.
Oh my God.
I think they definitely did it better originally.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. I love the weigh-ins, but they I just, you know what? I applaud how much they churn out. You know, it's fine.
Yeah.
And Terry Crews got in there. Terry Crews is funny, whatever he's in. You know, he's brilliant. Oh my God, White Chicks. White Chicks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you talk about people who are dead or something like that? Do you remember Frost, the movie, with Michael Keaton?
Oh no, I don't. Actually.
Where he's the dad and
he's the
dies
snowman.
Or something like that.
He's the snowman, right?
Yeah, and he turns into the snowman.
And it's the weirdest fucking looking snowman you've ever seen. Like what was it, Jack Frost?
Yeah. Jack Frost. That's a film I just remember that from my youth. I used to watch that all the time, every Christmas.
I remember that. That was a real. I rented that once I think around Christmas from this video shop called Paragon Video. It used to be like just an off-license thing. And it was, I just remember being kind of bored watching it. Like, this is a film about Michael Keaton as a snowman. This is Batman as a snowman. But, and Bat Snowman. And I just, like, it treats kids like adults, I think. But it was just kind of boring.
Yeah. Yeah, I admit, if I watched it back right now, I'd probably think it was boring. But when I was a kid, I actually...
Yeah.
I took
it's in the Christmas spirit.
Yeah.
But it's just... that was a real oddball that came out. But I remember that time. That was around the time period where I think WB had major things going on. Like, it had the Iron Giant come out. Oh, Pokemon, obviously, the movie. Everyone loved that. That was a really fun time to be a kid. Like, you got your Game Boys, everything is just exploding at you.
Scooters, I got a scooter.
Oh, scooters, man! Yeah, fucking alien babies, fucking yo-yos, fucking Crazy Bones. Crazy Bones. Crazy Bones were like the they were like that was war in the playground.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember Crazy Bones?
I don't.
Oh man, it's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Because that broke a lot of friendships up. But they were basically like these little hard plastic figures. They were just a head with legs, basically, and they had tons of different characters. Really cool looking. There could be rare ones they were all just normal colours, but there could be rare ones that actually had painted in features or shinies or something. And they were treated just like Pokemon cards. You know, you trade them, they look great.
Yeah.
There's a little collector's manual. You could collect a lot. I had tons. But you could do this thing called Crazy Bone. You could play games with them, but the best one everyone had was Crazy Bones Battle, where you'd put your Crazy Bone down. Your opponent would do it a couple of feet away, and you'd flick them both at each other.
Yeah.
And if you knocked their Crazy Bone down, they would have to knock yours down the next turn. If they didn't, you kept their Crazy Bone because you won. Ooh. And that, my friend, became such... Some people had... Like, that's when you get into the stats of Crazy Bones. Like, this one's flimsy and it falls over easily. Some were, like, hard as a rock that couldn't move over, and that's the ones they used to kill everyone else. But it was like the first proper gamble system, you know, like, holy shit, I could lose this if I play this.
Yeah.
But if I play my best one, I could win a lot. And it was terrifying.
That does sound competitive.
Oh, it was fun. I've still got mine somewhere in this house.
I'll tell you what I was saying to Tarmin last time we recorded the Nostalgia episode was I've very rarely actually played the Pokemon game with the actual cards. I played it loads on the Game Boy, but the actual card game, I only think I played that once with my friend and we both got bored after like 5 minutes.
Man, I tried to learn. I took one of those big old packs, you know, the bumper packs that had about 60 in them. I looked at the manual, tried to learn, and the only problem is I kind of learnt after a while, but I couldn't find anyone else that had done this, had taken out the time to do the same. My God, man, there was some great even just collecting them, man, it was fun.
Oh, I had loads of those, including those fucking energy cards.
The energy cards, even them, man. I remember I thought I was being really smart when I traded an energy card for it was a Pokemon card for like 3 energy cards from someone because I just started up and I was like, well, that was stupid. But all the shinies, all those fun little things, that was some fun times, man.
Yeah, I get so nostalgic thinking about Pokemon cards. I can remember the excitement because I used to get them every Saturday at a shop that was down the road from me. Yeah. And I used to remember that excitement and the feel of that and the smell of that wrapper.
Busting up a booster pack.
Yeah, and then when you tear that kind of wrapper.
I was about to say, Tarmin, on that last episode, and you didn't know the name of those little packs. They're booster packs.
Booster packs, yeah.
Booster packs. Dudes. Well, what the hell?
You just called them bumper packs earlier.
Bumper packs. Bumper packs. Sure.
How could
you? Dear me. Spitting our coffee up.
That's where I got most of the shinies from that I had, actually.
Oh, yeah.
They almost always used to be in there.
Man, there was some fun times. What do they have now? Like the Yu-Gi-Ohs, right? The Yu-Gi-Oh! They still do Pokemon cards. Like, it's still a big thing. But I always kept a couple just in case they were worth something, you know, just in case, like...
Yeah.
And after looking online a couple of times, I thought, you know what, they're not going to be worth shit. I think the biggest things that are worth a lot from childhoods are, like, original Transformers and, like, Star Wars toys.
Yeah.
There's a funny enough, you think, what's the rarest Star Wars toy? Probably like a vinyl Boba Fett, right? But no, apparently some of the rarest ones are the original Luke Skywalker's, Darth Vader's, and Obi-Wan's, the ones that had like fold-up lightsabers.
Yeah.
But more expensive than that is one of the little, the little guys that dressed in brown and they have like glowing eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember for the life of me what their names are. One of those can be worth around 12,000. The one that was original with the felt instead of the plastic. But the biggest selling one at the moment that went for about 18,000, I think, wasn't even a proper character. It was this droid that... Have you seen all the Star Wars films? The originals?
I can't remember now. No, I think I've only seen one or two, maybe.
Okay. Well, Empire Strikes Back, did you see that one?
I think I have. I think that's the one I've seen.
Yeah. The one where he goes, I am your father.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain that's the one I saw.
Yeah. Well, it's no... he gets his hand chopped off, right?
Yeah.
And at the end of the film, Luke's getting his hand repaired by this droid, like a robot hand. That droid that's repairing the hand is the figure in question. That went for 18,000, just that droid.
Yeah. Because
it was so limited in number. There's some of these toy lines, they would create the figures, and before they even get out, they've cancelled the toy line because for that initial period, that initial series. So some of these figures never even saw the light of day, and that's how valuable they are.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And funnily enough, Pokemon cards does have that same kind of agenda.
Yeah.
You think to yourself, well, I don't have any of those really rare first edition promo cards,
Yeah.
I've just got them. I'm just keeping these shitty pieces of foil in a wallet, thinking they might be worth something, but at the end of the day, they're just colourful paper. Why?
Yeah.
There you go, man.
It's weird. I do find the odd one lying around.
Yeah.
But I don't have... I had one point, I had 500.
Yeah.
And they just seem to have all vanished over the years. I know I had to sell some because my mum got me to get rid of some at a school fair.
Yeah.
And then my aunt and uncle made me get rid of some.
And they're always really proud when that happens, aren't they? Like, thank God you've got rid of them.
Yeah. I really miss them now.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I'd probably learn to play them just for the sake of it.
Yeah.
With some other aging loser. Like myself, that's learn how to play, and we'll just cry as we play.
Yeah.
But it's fun memories, man.
Yeah,
some good stuff. You always remember where you got them as well. I remember I bought one pack in Cornwall, and I've always remembered that as my Cornwall pack. On holiday. It's nice.
Because I went to the shop where I used to get them from, and it had it there upstairs was the toy department.
Yeah,
they don't even have a toy department now. I was like, I was disgusted. I was like, I'm abandoning that.
What's going on?
I have no interest in that shop now whatsoever.
I miss the good old days. I generally feel that our generation was the last time that kids were treated like there were toy shops on every corner. Nowadays you don't get that. You don't see that stuff. When you see it, you're like, holy shit, I want to go in just for the sake of it. But you don't see it's all digital now, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, kids are interested in computers and
iPads, for fuck's sake. I mean,
iPads. Yeah, well, that's not a bad thing. I mean, it's kind of space saving in a way, but it's not like you just notice it. That's all it is. It's not a bad thing. It's not a good thing. It's something you notice.
It's like someone I know. They've got a 2-year-old, and it can't be without its iPad. It'll start crying its head off if it doesn't have its iPad.
Yeah, that's one thing I am a bit worried about because it is a reliance on technology, right?
Yeah.
And someone did say if the whole world just lost electricity just got shut off even for 24 hours, a quarter of the planet would just go into anarchy. At least a quarter. Become way too reliant on technology. It's crazy, man. It is crazy, and it's that building it up from childhood now. Imagine what the next generation is going to be like after them.
Yeah.
We're becoming bionic, if anything.
Yeah. I just think it's kind of a little bit sad that kids, they don't have some of the joys that we had necessarily.
Yeah, but then again, you get people from the older generation saying the same thing about us, don't you? Like with TV. TV.
Yeah.
That TV's going to ruin them. But it ended up being one of the best things for us because, you know, we had all these nostalgic programs.
Yeah.
It helped us grow as well. I mean, we could say what we like about the next generation, but maybe there's something to it.
Yeah.
That we're not seeing, you know?
Yeah.
Something to keep an open mind out about anyway. But at the same time, I don't care for it.
Yeah. To be fair, I used to get annoyed if I wasn't allowed on my Game Boy, so, you know.
Oh, man. Yeah, I remember I lost my Game Boy for a month once. I think I put it in a book, in a shelf where books were, so I couldn't tell the difference. And that was one of the most depressing months I'd ever had as a kid.
Yeah.
And when I found it, that was one of the best moments as a kid. And the battery still worked. And stuff like that, man. Like simple joys, you know. Yeah. And that shit was hard to play, man. That was like green screen, even in light in the day, you know. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I remember Game Boys in the day.
Jeez, yeah. It did your eyes in. I don't know how I did it back then because. Anything. Looking at my phone, if I spend too much time, if I was to play a game on my phone, I don't know how I'd continue it. It'd just be too much.
I used to play Pokemon so much. Sometimes I'd get that tune in your head.
Oh,
you know, that kind of almost noise. As you're going on, you know, when like most of them, it was that kind of almost noise. I can't do the tune very well, but that noise.
Do you mean the victory thing?
No, as you were walking along, it did almost like that kind of noise. I'm terrible at tunes, but that was the noise, and I used to get that in my head sometimes. I'd be trying to sleep, and all I could hear was that kind of noise.
Man, I'm one of those geeks that will, if you looked at my MP3, it is filled with like normal music technically, but it also has like tons of soundtracks and also game soundtracks. Yeah. And there's even a section within the game soundtracks, like games from like yesteryear, like bloody Streets of Rage and you know, old NES stuff. And it's like that's probably where I'm fucked up because I'm listening to like electronic sounds as opposed to normal music. Yeah. And anyone looking back will be like, well, how can you listen to this? And I'm just listening to like a rendition of the Mario theme. It's like, what the fuck, man? It brings back good memories, you know? Like.
Yeah.
But hey ho, that's nostalgia for you anyway.
Yeah. Talking slightly about musical kind of thing. Do you know what my first musical love was?
Musical love?
The Wombles.
No.
Yeah, I mean, the Wombles actually, that was...
Dude, Wombles.
I got that from my sister because that was actually more her generation that had the Wombles than
Are you talking about the one that, you know, the Wombles of Wimbledon or the band?
The band. Remember You're the Wombles.
Remember You're the Womble. And didn't it last for like... It was doing the same numbers as Wet, Wet, Wet at number one, wasn't it?
Something like that.
And people became so tired of it.
Yeah. I had it on tape. I used to play that all the time, and it's.
Remember You're a Womble.
It was always that song because they did another song that I didn't like quite as much, but.
Yeah. I think because they tried to recapture the success, didn't they?
Yeah.
A second band song.
Yeah.
But obviously that's not good. You know, funny enough, fun fact. The Wombles was one of the first programs to get a second reinvention, like all these programs are getting now today.
Yeah, really?
It was. I remember it back on CITV back in I think late 90s. Actually, they actually redid the Wombles. Yeah, with a modern audience.
Yeah.
So more girl Wombles, but keeping some of the like Toba Mori and all the old classic characters. Yeah. But it was one of the first times they tried to redo. But I think they still did it in stop motion.
Do they?
But just updated stop motion, which is really fluid, really good looking.
Yeah.
But it was one of the first times, funny enough, the Wombles, one of the first times they brought something back. But here's something good I'd like to end on, if that's possible.
Yeah.
They're bringing the clangers back. Do you remember the clangers?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that one. Yeah.
They're all little pink mice that live on the moon.
Yeah.
But they're doing it in the stop motion from the original. They're doing it exactly the same way.
Oh, wow.
For a modern audience, but really wholesome, nicely, and with a nice voice.
Yeah.
It looks just like the old one, Matt. It's brilliant. And I think that, you know, it shows that people do yearn for this old stuff. They do yearn for classic ways of doing things. And it's nice because some people are out there to honour it. Obviously, there are people that think, well, it's cheaper to do it this way. Let's do it quick. But for a classic TV series like that, you can't imagine it in special effects anyway, you know. They're all just little pieces of fabric I'm glad they haven't touched Bad Puss yet, you know?
Yeah.
Like, there's certain programs you think you can't make that special effects, it'll just lose that magic.
Yeah.
You know? Bagpuss being another one.
When you talk about touching up Bagpuss, that's dodgy.
Don't touch Bagpuss, don't touch it up, you know?
I was about to say get your finger out for Bagpuss or something like that.
Oh, man. It's like we're watching Austin Powers all over again. It's
yeah.
But, you know, it's just a nice thing that I'm glad someone's going to end on that. But
I think we are quite nostalgic in Britain.
We are. I think it's because we did have some of the old stuff that we made. A lot of it was manufactured.
Yeah.
I'm not talking Hanna-Barbera manufactured, you know.
Yeah.
It's actually like some of it was... a lot of it, even the manufactured stuff like rhubarb and custard, which is very cheap to make, it had heart, you know. It felt like it could have been drawn by Del Boy or something like that, you know. It's just nice, wholesome stuff, and I just... and they were quirky as well. They weren't just characters with ties. They all had like a sort of... like it's a magical toy cat or the flower pot, man, for fuck's sake. Like, you can't get more imaginative than that.
I know.
Oh, my God.
You do wonder if, like, some of the people that created this stuff, were they on, like, LSD at the time or something like that?
You don't know, do you? You don't know if it was creativity like that. I'm sure people can come up with it without influence, but there are very creative people out there. I mean, you get... Even shown today, YouTubers, I mean, say what you like about YouTubers, but to come up with new content every, 5 minutes, stuff that people haven't seen before is you know, it's quite generally good, you know, it's very, you have to have a creative mind.
Also, YouTube is great for, like, feeding us nostalgia, because you can go watch old episodes of stuff you will... Because there used to be a serial I used to watch a lot as a kid called Animals of Farthing Wood.
Oh, I had the theme song to that stuck in my head.
Yeah. God, that programme was brutal, that was.
I know.
That teaches you about the animal world and stuff like that.
I'm sure it invented a lot of green pieces back then.
Yeah.
You know?
Doesn't hide from...
That theme song, man. Like because I remembered the theme song before I remembered the animals. Yeah. And then I remembered that fox with the almost unibrow face.
Yeah.
They had that really good... icon as well. It's all the animals looking up, isn't it, with the badger? And that was really good.
I could always remember the moment Badger died. That was the one thing I could remember from it.
I didn't realise he died.
Oh shit! Did I spoil it?
No, don't worry. It's 10 years out. But
spoiler
shit, I didn't realise it was that dark.
Yeah. No, it was like it showed how difficult it was to survive in the animal world, because because at the beginning they create there's a pact that they keep, because they've got to get to Farthing Wood, because that's a safer place to stay, because where they're living at the time is getting destroyed, and so they make this pact that they won't eat each other and stuff like that. Now you already kind of slightly... I mean, that does actually happen in the animal world, apparently. There are you will find certain places where there are actually packs between animals that would usually eat each other.
Oh, serious? Oh, wait, I know there's, like, animals that help each other out, but I didn't know about, like, say, a mouse and a snake, you know, getting
Not necessarily those, but there are some, like, animals where, in, like, there's the usual circumstances where they'd eat each other, but they won't, because they can see it's for the greater good, maybe, or something like that.
Interesting.
I have heard that there's cases like that out there.
Animals are intelligent, but I don't think, you know, statistically intelligent, you know.
Yeah.
Economically intelligent.
Yeah. But it kind of like the danger, like there's one where there's like a hedgehog having to cross the road and it gets run over. It's really bleak stuff like that, and then there's like birds die like anything and stuff like that.
That's very British if you think about it, isn't it? Like Watership Down British.
Yeah.
Animals dying. Like, wasn't there a snake in that show as well?
Yeah, there's two, and one of them gets killed, and the other snake gets its revenge. It's amazing, because the snake's always the one she always looks like she's trying to eat one of them, like the mice or something like that, but she always gets caught.
Because I remember there was a snake that always had like an angry look to it, but it was drawn in that animated way that I can remember Farthing Wood had. And that was a staple of British TV, like the you know, the forests and you get a lot of like these shows, like even America had Fern Gully. I mean, it was the 90s did have a very big natured rhythm to it. You know, some of them were more subtle than others. You know,
What's happened? Yeah, I watched Animal Farming Mode only a couple of years ago again to see what it was like. I ended up watching all 3 series of it.
That's not like just revisiting.
Yeah, it's like Dogtanian. I didn't get into Dogtanian until I was like
Dog fucking Tanyan.
I think. Do you know what? I didn't actually watch that as a kid because that was the generation before mine or before me, mainly.
Like, wasn't Dogtanian kind of Japanese animation or something?
It was, and then it kind of gone through either France or England. It was one of those two, and
I think I had a video of it once.
Yeah, because it's set in France, I think. Mm-hmm. It's meant to be like set in Paris and so at the beginning.
Of course, the Three Musketeers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because that's what it's based. But yeah, I only watched that when I was like 12 or 13 because my brother-in-law or ex-brother-in-law showed me it. I was like, I love this, and then I didn't see it for ages, and I remembered it, and I was like, I found it on Amazon. I was like, I've got to get this because I loved that program when I watched it.
And it reminds you of a simpler time, in a way.
This is only like a few years back as well. I'm like a 19-year-old watching Dogtanian or something like that.
It's all right because it's in your room. You know, you don't have to worry about what other people think. Yeah. But we broadcast it now, everybody.
Oh fuck! Yeah, yeah. I should remember that we're recording.
That's all right though. It's all about nostalgia. Like these, people.
To be fair, I'm not ashamed. This stuff.
No, there's nothing to be ashamed about. I every now and then I like to pop it on YouTube and see if it's still as aged as it is.
Yeah.
I remember, what was it? I've been watching a shitload of old Disney films recently.
Yeah.
Because some of them I remember, it's like a subconscious memory, and there's something really nice about getting that subconscious memory back and seeing where it came from. Other times it's just films I never really saw. Like, I watched, I think one of the biggest Disney film loves I have is Peter Pan. And it's nothing to do too much with the film itself, but the fact that it's a symbolic film of, like, me and my mum watched it. And I always think, like, it kind of, I watched it as a kid, and my mum always told me about how I'd re-quote it as a kid. And that always reminds me of my mum, and it's kind of like, I'm getting those emotions. That kind of thing. Like, that, it has that symbolic nature to me, and I always remember that with her. But just going back and seeing all this old Disney stuff and how they grew as a company.
Yeah.
Even and I like the whole 90s Renaissance that they did as well, like all these other films.
Yeah.
But I watched Notre Dame, and that's a surprisingly dark film.
Yeah.
I mean, they Disneyfied it still, but it's still got for one thing, Frollo is one of the first actual evil villains in Disney. I think his whole motivation is, Judge Frollo, because he's not a priest in Disney. But one of his motivations is, I want to sleep with this girl, and if I can't, she'll burn at the stake. And then at the end of it, Quasimodo, he doesn't get the girl because... In a way, I kind of respect that because it doesn't lie to kids, but it's not a great message either. Because obviously the man who's good looking, he does look good. Esmeralda's voiced by Demi Moore, so of course she has to look good. And it's just, it's such a mean-spirited film in a way, but I still like it.
Yeah.
The villain doesn't have a stupid little sidekick that for comedic relief. So his dark scenes are dark, man.
Yeah.
And he has a really great musical number called Hellfire. I can't remember. But
do you know what? I think it's good for like children to kind of see the darker side of things sometimes, because it doesn't get you into that thing that everything's all perfect.
It's very important.
Because when you get to a teenage, that's what hits you most is the fact the world isn't as kind of dreamy and perfect as
Once you hit the internet and you hit that wrong side of the internet, then you realise, fuck, why is the world like this? And it can depress you. It can put you through a depression. Like, so this is, I've seen one side of it, the coloured side, right? But you get used to, you realise that, of course, you're going to be exposed to the bad side, but you don't realise that the good side is never relevant to anyone. Because it's just normal to them. They want the good side. If something's good, it will not get reported about it. It won't be news, Crime Watch used to depress me, but then you have to realise that these crimes only happen once every now and then. It's not probably not going to be you, and even if it is, lightning won't strike twice. I thought, hopefully.
Yeah.
But when you see it on TV, it feels like that's all that happens in the world,
Oh, who was it? He used to do Crime Watch for Nick Ross. The one that got shot.
Yeah.
Jill Dandy.
That woman outside her home.
Yeah, Jill Dandy. I used to really like her when I was a kid.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like ironic that, that she's the one that got the crime in the end, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, she was really good.
I just always remember her, and when she died, that scared the shit out of me, that did, when I was younger.
Yeah, because it brought it home, right?
Yeah.
It was like, shit, even Jill Dandy's not safe. But I really like how I really love Anne Robinson on that programme.
Crime Watch?
Yeah.
I thought she did Watchdog, didn't she?
Fucking Watchdog. I apologise for that. Sorry about that. She's great in Watchdog. But,
I remember her on that. Yeah. She scared the shit out of people.
She scared the shit out of people, but I always thought she was cool. She was all right. I remember there was one Crime Watch where a guy chased a guy down the street with a samurai sword, and they just casually reported that. Yeah. And they did the reaction as well. What do you call it? The reacting?
Yeah.
The reenactment
or something.
Reenactment, there you go. Thank you, Matt. And when you see the reenactment, obviously they make it really creepy as well. Like, Jesus Christ, like this a samurai sword in London,
Yeah.
This is the kind of shit you don't see in like Miami films.
Yeah.
It just shows, doesn't it? I mean, you don't have to worry about that stuff. It's not something that you see out there.
Yeah.
This is crazy as well. Like Liverpool. I mean, when Ross Camp was on gangs, and he talked about these Liverpool gangs having like, Eastern weapons to fight each other. Not even guns, just Eastern weapons to cause maximum damage.
Yeah.
God, there you go.
I always love the impression of him. Where they just show him running away with all the gangs. And it's always usually like a gang of old ladies or something like that.
Was that Alistair McGowan?
No, it's the other one. John Coleshaw or something like that.
Oh, right, yeah.
It's amazing, because I can't watch like the show that he actually does where he goes to the gangs without thinking of him just running away.
He really just makes me think of what Ricky Gervais did in Extras, where he's like, I'm SAS, I'm SAS, just like that. At the end, he's like really scared of Vinnie Jones.
Yeah.
Oh man. I do like Ross Kemp.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think we'll wrap this up before it becomes any darker.
Yeah, too long.
But that counts as nostalgia anyway.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed taking the trip back down memory lane. Laying the foundations for where I went wrong.
Yeah, we played a lot out in these episodes, like the nostalgia ones. It's like last one, me and Tom, I think we're nearly crying by the end of it. Because we just realised all our dreams had been crushed.
Oh, well, not crushed, just changed, really.
Yeah.
This is why you're with me today, because I'll be the positive undertone.
Yeah.
It's not crushed, Matt. Just reformed.
Yeah. There's hope left in the world.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, there's hope for the next generation as well, and hopefully we'll be able to bring our kids up right if we have kids. And what's going to be the first program you show your kid if you do?
Oh, I don't know. Probably Animals for Farming Wood.
Yeah, nice.
So they can just see what the world's really like.
Yeah, like something not too dark.
Yeah.
So I might start off with Bodger and Badger.
Yeah.
And then Farming Wood, and then tear their hearts out.
Yeah.
Nice.
Or Art Attack. Cause
Art Attack, shit, Neil Buchanan.
Art Attack or Smart, where I used to say, I used to watch that or read the books and say, I'm going to make all of this stuff. I never made a fucking
never made it. I think I made the easiest thing in every Christmas book. He always had like a Christmas magazine, which would come with like some sort of glitter or glue pen or something. Glitter pens. Jesus, there you go.
Glitter.
Glitter pens, man. You never see them again. And, Neil Buchanan, you know what he's doing now?
What's he doing? Is he in the metal band? Heavy metal?
Metal band, yeah.
Wow.
He's just amazing, man. Like, I remember there was this old program on the BBC. Oh, it was Channel 4, I can't remember. CITV, the old days, and they were talking about old presenters and stuff. But funnily enough, the black guy who did Jungle Run?
Oh, I can't remember that now.
Kind of like a black Stephen Mulhern.
Oh, no, I can't remember.
Had a bit of a camp voice. Oh, never mind. Well, he's actually married to Jessica. You remember that host from CITV?
Yeah, I think I remember who you mean.
Yeah, and that's quite nice. It's like finding out these two presenters are with each other,
Yeah.
Like Charlie Brooker and Connie Huck. But I digress anyway. What was it? Yeah, Art Attack. He talked about, the big art attacks that he would do in New York City or Hawaii or something. Apparently he would what they would do is that he was with a team of people on the Art Attack team, and he would say, well, where do you guys want to go for a holiday? And then they bring up the producer and they say, yeah, we've got a great idea for a big art attack, but it's got to be done in Hawaii or New York, And then they were like, oh, whatever, we'll just throw money at you. And then he put the phone down, do a little fist bump and go, sorted. That's his holiday. A week there and they just got to do one big art attack.
I think I can understand why that program's not on anymore.
Yeah.
That face, though, in that program, I used to scare the shit out of me.
That head. It's me again. The head.
I know. Oh, that genuinely frightened me as a kid. I had to look away or something at times.
I never understood how he did art.
Yeah.
He would always bring up his own, but I'd be like, you don't have hands, mate. How do you do it? But it's all fun and games.
Yeah. There's one last program, very quickly, because I know we want to...
Go, yeah.
That I saw it earlier when I was looking on the internet, and I'd completely forgotten about it. It was Get Your Own Back.
Oh, fucking I've got a Facebook page dedicated to him.
Oh, that was amazing. I just used
I'll have to add you.
That and Noel's House Party every Saturday.
Noel's House Party. I used to always get the Get Your Own Back guy confused with Ainsley Harriott and Lenny Henry. Because not Lenny Henry so much because he had his own thing anyway, but Ainsley Harriott, because they had that kind of jaw.
Yeah.
And I used to love the Get Your Own Back guy. I can't remember his name. I apologise to you, whoever you are. But the gunge, I used to think that was pretty creepy.
Yeah.
The gunge at the end where they'd be raised over a gunge tank.
Yeah.
Every time they got a question wrong. And I used to get so tense watching that because back then, gunge, when you're a kid, it's like, it looks like acid or bile.
Yeah. I think that was one of my first, sexual fantasies. Kind of being dangled over gunge. I'm pretty sure that was one of them, or something like that.
Oh, Matt, that's fine.
Shall we end on that?
It's a bare rule.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
I think people are going to find a lot out about me listening to this episode.
Hey, it's just this is the introduction to the book.
Yeah.
So you know what to write now.
Yeah.
Just to get it out there, I have Dogtanian season. No, Farthingwood 1 to 3, and I get it off on Gunge.
Yeah. So basically, if you and Tom have been to prison now, I think it's my turn to go pretty soon.
Well,
that's how Tom is going to explain my absence.
Not for committing anything wrong. That's the funny thing. Oh,
I'll be locked up in some mental asylum for missing that.
Just screaming Gunge all day. You go down an asylum and they just see this locked door called cell 10. They go, don't go past there. Don't go past there. He'll get his own back on you. And be like, you get close and you just hear Gunge, fun house. You just start singing the theme song.
Yeah.
Oh, lot of fun, prizes to be won. That'll be us, man. An insane asylum just for the people who suffer from nostalgia.
Yeah.
They're all singing their favourite theme songs, That'd be the most fun insane asylum to visit.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd go crazy in that.
That sounds like a place I'd actually want to be.
Yeah. Go down another side, the one guy's just humming Postman Pat, but in the way he does, oh, get me out of here.
Postman Pat's actually how I learned to tell the time.
Oh, serious?
Yeah, because I had a book and it had the clock on. And you could twist the hands and stuff like that to get the time.
That rings a bell. I think I had that book.
Yeah.
A Postman Pat.
I've seen it about actually a few times since then.
Must be popular.
Shoot it at the odd car boot. So I think
it works then.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember stuff like that. Oh, man.
Yeah, gosh.
Shit. It kind of makes me sad that so much of it is probably in a bin somewhere.
Yeah. Such a shame. Oh, well.
Such a shame.
We all get older, so...
Yeah, and then we just got to accept that there's new stuff.
Yeah.
But look forward to the clangers, man. See how that comes out. And just enjoy what else comes next. Now it's Archer and Rick and Morty. Yeah.
Yeah.
Enjoy that. Oh, anyway, man, to sign off...
Yeah.
It was good to share these experiences with all you lovely people.
Yeah.
And now me and Matt are going to turn the light off and go get a curry.
And some gunge.
Yeah, gunge that curry.
Oh, that doesn't sound...
did it ever sound right?
No.
Nice.
Oh.
Well, I'll see you people later.
Yeah.
Have a nice day. I've been Chris.
Yeah. I've been Matt. And
yes, you have.
Ta-ta, my dear fellows.
And hopefully if we pray hard enough, Tarman will be back next week.
Yep. Yeah. But once you find somewhere to park the ice cream van and get rid of the kids.
Yeah. I'm not going back. All right. See you later.
See you all.
Remember what